Alright guys, what are we talking about today? Today is a ZT 0452 in S35VN. Thank you to Ed for sending this one along so that I could test it. After the 0562, I was curious to see if that was a one-off or was their newer S35 actually maybe done a little bit better. This one is a pretty high serial number, 22,600, just like the 0562 in S35VN. That one was also a newer serial number. So I was happy to test this and see how it would do. So we'll go ahead and blow that cutting out of the way and come back and talk about how it sharpened, how it deburred, and how the testing went, and compare it to the other ZT that I tested in the past few months. Now that we saw that cutting, go ahead and real quick we'll talk about how it sharpened, how it's dropped, and then we'll get right into the results. When I got this, it was on the factory edge. The factory edge had been used. It wasn't anything I could test. So like normal, I went ahead and sharpened it and started testing on the third edge. As you guys can see, just like the 562, the bevel on this is pretty wide for being 18 degrees per side. And both tests were done with a 1500 grit KME edge strapped on 6.3 and 1 micron. Now, as far as deburring this, I have sharpened it again to return it, and even on the fifth edge, this took a little bit of work to deburr. I didn't have to do any extra passes. However, usually when I'm deburring something for a test, the vast majority of knives will deburr on the 6 micron, and if they have a little bit left over, the 3 micron usually takes care of all of it. So by the time I hit the 1 micron, we're just cleaning up the edge. On this one, however, that was not the case. This one didn't deburr all the way until I got onto the 1 micron. I don't make huge burrs, as you guys know. It is clean now. That's definitely out of the ordinary for most steels. So, how did the testing go? 18 degrees per side, S35VN from ZT, a newer model. On the first test, 117 feet fine edge, 54 feet working edge, for a total of 171 feet in the 1-inch section. So that's good. That is just like the other ZT that did well for S35VN. As you guys know, well for S35VN, from the things I've tested, usually they fall in the 140 to 150 foot total cutting range. This is closer to a lot of S30V. Yes, this is still a pretty good ways away from a CRK or the older Demco S35 that I have, but not bad. Sharpened it again, tested it again, and on the fourth edge, 127 feet fine edge, 45 feet working edge, for a total of 172 feet. So not bad. Definitely way better than any of the older ZTS 35 that I used. I have no idea how hard those were. I steered away from them a few years ago because I was super unhappy with how they performed. So much so, you guys know I don't like D2. I would have much rather used D2 than the older ZTS 35. Overall, I'm happy now to see two examples do well. Maybe they're getting a better heat treat on their S35. That I don't know. But the performance is definitely better, which is a good thing. I'd be perfectly happy using this. Some of the S30V that I use cuts in this range. A few other things I use, like the SPY27 and BD1N, also fall in this range. After I tested this and hit it on a strop, it comes back pretty well also, which is a good sign. Overall, not bad. I'm not in love with a ton of ZT's designs, but more than that, how thick the grinds are. If you take a look, like I said, that is 18 degrees per side, and this is 15 degrees per side, and you can see they're about the same size. If you think back to the 0620 that I tested, that was reground by John at BGM after I was done with it, that bevel got huge at 15 degrees per side. Love to see them improve that. Otherwise, this 452 and that 562, solid. No issues with it whatsoever. I'm glad to see that it did well. If you guys have a newer or even an older ZT and S35VN, love to hear what your experiences with it are. Mine were not good over 5 different examples that I had. That's all I have for this one. As always, I appreciate your time, and thanks for watching.